have your attention. We're going to get started. We're going to have a few
Just internal.
words from the governor, and I'll
What's that?
give you a few short words myself. I'll try to keep it short. My speech is only about 20 pages long, so it won't take long. But I want to introduce the governor.
That won't take long.
Is that because I don't know what to say about you, or? No, I have to tell you, I have known the governor since, well, I can go back a long ways, okay, but you know, I had the pleasure when I was chairman of the party working with the governor as we worked through a lot of tough problems. And I will just tell you that she is a fighter, and that is probably her strongest suit, is that she never gives in, she never gives up, and she always goes for what she wants. I was going to say you go for the throat, but that'd be a little too mean. But she is one tough cookie, and Arizona's been very fortunate to have her as our governor. And I would like to now introduce her and have her say a few things about what's going on, and maybe she'll say something nice about me if I'm lucky.
Thank you, Randy, so very, very much. Thank you. I am so pleased to be here tonight with all of you, but more than that, I'm so much more pleased that you are all here supporting Randy. I again will reiterate what Randy has said. We have known each other for a long, long time, and I have come to know just exactly what Randy stands for. He stands for integrity, he stands for hard work, and he stands for talent. And that's exactly what we need in the office of the treasurer. You know, we have $12 billion in assets in the state of Arizona, and we need somebody in there, I might remind everybody, that can do the math. And that is really, really important, don't you think, when you're doing the simple little things of counting millions and millions and millions of dollars? You know, it was not hard for me to tell Randy that I would endorse him, that I would support him, that I would walk with him, I would travel with him, I will go out and spread the message, because it's easy. All the time that I've known Randy, maybe sometimes we might not have agreed, but the bottom line is if we did agree, you could take his word to the bank. And he went out there and he did what he said he was going to do. And it wasn't covering his back or saying, well, that's not what I meant, or I was misrepresented. He did exactly what he said he was going to do. And you know what? In politics, that makes a difference. You got to be able to know the candidate that you vote for is going to do what they tell you they're going to do. He's had a long history in the private sector. He's been chairman of the Republican Party, so he gets it both. He's from the business community and he's from the political world. And I think if you talk to people on either side that have done business with him, that they absolutely will say that, again, Randy has the know-how and the integrity. And it takes people like this to make our state be what we all want it to be. And it needs a Republican team to get it done. And so I am just so pleased to see all of you here, but I would be very, very remiss that you're here to support Randy, and I hope that you all brought your money and that you contributed, because it takes money, of course, to run a campaign. But also, we need your energy. We need your friendship, because we need you to go out there and you need to be able to talk to people about Randy, whether it be that if you're in a grocery store, or if you're at the golf course, or if you're at Costco or the drugstore and you're waiting in line, you need to be able to say, hey, how are you doing today? Nice day, right? Hey, have you heard about Randy Pullen? He's running for treasurer. I'm a big supporter of his. Because it is the word of mouth from somebody that says that to them, that they, again, become your supporter. They become a supporter of Randy Pullen. And if they become a supporter of Randy Pullen, then they tell somebody else about Randy Pullen. And it's that kind of campaigning that grabs everybody. Because if they say yes, well, of course, they're going to vote for him, and then they're going to tell people, and it just generates, sort of like the Ponzi scheme. You know? I mean, absolutely. But it works, and he's going to need a lot. And if you haven't already, he needs signatures. You need signatures. We need signatures, and everyone in this room, there's absolutely no reason why everybody in this room can't go out there and get a couple hundred signatures. If you just take them and put them in your pocket and walk out there. But that's what campaigns are all about. That is exactly what campaigns are all about. It's gathering people that believe in what you've done, to go out there and tell people. And sometimes it's a lot easier if you have a petition in your pocket to talk about your candidate because you're asking them to do something. But if you get them to sign that petition, they will vote for that person that they signed for, irregardless. They just do it for whatever the reason is. So I am going to be out there. I'm going to work for the guy that I think is going to be the next treasurer of the state of Arizona, the guy that can get the job done, the guy with the integrity, the guy that has the business experience and the political experience, a guy that knows that it's the right thing to do by doing the truth is what the people of Arizona wants. And so that's what we need to tell people, and I pledge to all of you that are here tonight that I'm going to work just as hard as I have asked you to work. I will go out there, I will do whatever Randy wants me to do, I will talk on his behalf, I will ask people to sign signatures, I will ask people for money, I have no shame, and I will tell them that Randy can get the job done. So, in closing, just let me say, if you brought your money tonight, thank you very much, and we appreciate that. Would you please ask a friend to donate some money, whether it be a little amount, a big amount, or a double amount, or whatever, because we need a good treasurer. We need somebody in that office that respects the job for what it is, and that he will manage it properly. $12 billion we're putting in the hands of the treasurer, and we want Randy Pullen to be that man. Thank you. Don't blow it.
Well, I think we just should get a drink and eat something, because I don't know if I can beat that. I can't. But hey,
Would you like to do a commercial for me?
I think I'll probably have that done. You know, it'd be perfect, right?
I'll do anything.
Okay. Tonight, I want to ask you a couple of questions, and I would really hope that you would participate with me. How many of you would have thought 5 years ago Detroit would be filing bankruptcy? Anybody? Yeah, well, I see there's a few in the room, but not very many, because that's not surprising. Now let me ask you this question. How many of you think that Arizona could have been filing bankruptcy? Yeah, there's a few people here, and she knows. And she knows, because she knows what we were going through at the time. Our former governor, Janet Napolitano, she managed to put us on the verge of bankruptcy, and then she got the opportunity to go off to Washington, D.C. and perform some of her magic there. Well, believe me, yeah, and I got to tell you that what we were left with was pretty ugly. And when you have a $10.5 billion budget, and you have $7.5 billion in revenue, that means you're short $3 billion. In the accounting profession, that's when we say you're upside down, right? Well, we worked through all that, believe me. And because of her hard work, as well as help from leadership in the legislature, we managed to balance the budget and get the job done. And now Arizona is back to a balanced budget, and we have fiscal sanity in the state once again. Thank you, Governor. I appreciate that.
How are they doing on the budget this time?
They're still working on it. She's asking, how are they doing on the budget right now? You know, the other thing that's really important, and the governor kind of said this too, is having a strong team is really important. Whether it's in business or whether it's in politics, elected officials, they need to have a strong team with them. I've been very fortunate over my lifetime. I've had very strong family. You know, there's an old saying that behind every successful man, there's a surprised mother-in-law. But in this case, I will have to tell you, my mother-in-law who's here tonight, where is she? Where's Beverly? She's in the back there by the bar. She has always been very happy about what I've been doing. So thank you, Beverly, for your support over the years. And she's right next to my wife, Catherine, and she's my strongest team member by far. Through good and through bad, she's been there all the time. And no one supports me more than she does, and I really appreciate that. And my son is here as well, Travis. Where are you? He's Travis Pullen, oldest son. He's works in a business we started in 2000. It's called Wage Watch. He's the director of sales. It's doing very well. So I'm glad to have them here. You know, I am a CPA, and for those that certified public accountant, and I'm sure most of you know what that is. And so when I start looking at the job of treasurer, what the duties are of treasurer, I start getting a little excited. You know, we start talking about, you know, processing all the receipts for the state of Arizona, authorizing $30 billion in expenditures every year. You know, that's kind of gets accountants excited. And I want to tell you that you also get to manage $12 billion, which means you get to look at asset allocation plans. And there's nothing accountants like more than looking at plans like that. Okay, if you want to stay around afterwards, an hour or two, I can explain the whole thing to you. But it's very good. No? Boring! No, we are not boring. I got to tell you, I was at a luncheon today, a Deloitte luncheon. It was a continuing education luncheon. And we sat there for 2 hours talking about things like, well, when you're in an airplane, a commercial plane, and you got your laptop out and you're flying from Phoenix to New York City, how many states should you be filing for payroll taxes in? You know, as you're flying over, you're working on your computer. I mean, that's the things that we talk about, right? Well,
Wow.
Boring! Really a lot of fun.
but you know, but the bottom line is, well, it actually reminds me of something in a Pullen household bedtime story.
Oh no.
When I was practicing as a CPA full time, and sometimes my wife would have trouble going to sleep, and she'd just kind of lean over and say, "Tell me about your day." I would start telling her about my day, and about 1 or 2 minutes later, she'd be asleep. Worked like a charm. I don't know. It's just one of those things. But anyway, the treasurer's job it's critical for the state of Arizona, as I've said. There's a lot of responsibilities that come into play, and the treasurer needs to be there. It's very important. I will tell you one thing that you probably don't know, but we're getting a new accounting system. I put the old one in 32 years ago. It was my first really big deal with Deloitte, was putting in the state's accounting system. And it lasted 32 years. I can't believe that, first of all. But we're getting a new accounting system next year. Okay, so I'm not going to get too many details here, I swear. So we have the state's accounting system, and the treasurer has his accounting system. You know, so you have to balance the two accounting systems. So who better to have in the treasurer's office than the guy that put in the last accounting system?
No kidding.
Right. Yeah, so that's going to happen next year. So anyway, I want to tell you, I appreciate all of you being here tonight, and you're writing checks to me and supporting me. The campaign's going really well so far. We've been all over the state. We had one day where we were in Bullhead City at lunchtime, and we were in Tucson for dinner. So it's a lot of traveling around the state is what we're doing, but that's what you have to do when you're on a statewide race. And it's going well. I think that tonight, I don't know how much money we raised, but I think we raised quite a bit of money tonight, and that's what we really need. I think we're on our way to victory on August 26th. That's the primary, and you talk to most pundits, they'll tell you whoever wins this primary will be the next treasurer of Arizona. And that's because even Democrats will concede you want a Republican managing your money, right? Right? Well, thank you very much for being here tonight. Just a second. I thank you for your support. I also, please vote for me. Voting is as important as the money. Believe me, it is. Okay, thank you.